On Panthers TV, in association with Jeremias Chimney Systems, as you can see, we're going to do something different. Head coach Corey Neilson and forward-term defenceman Jordan Kelsall getting ready for tomorrow's game against Belfast. Corey, going to come to you first. What sort of prep are you showing Jordan here?
Basically, we're just trying to get him, basically with all our consistent rules with defensemen, just showing him the basics, and now we're working towards some more advanced stuff. I mean, for Jordan, pivoting from forwards to backwards all the time seems to be a complicated thing for new forwards moving into defense, and I'm just trying to keep it simple where he can stay on his forward edge and attack. So we're going to show basically some of his good clips in the last couple games where he's attacking forwards on his forward edge. We call this surfing. So you see him, he's number 14 here. He's basically staying on his forward edge, trying to end this play and guide that guy. And what happens, because forwards aren't typically used, they're used to defensemen folding back and playing defense. They don't really expect him to come. And he does a really good job. He's got a good stick. He comes across with his speed and ends that play very quickly. Same thing on the other side. You see him coming across. He misses him there, which is fine. But even though he misses him, he makes that guy stand straight up. And obviously our player gets the puck immediately. So I basically try and show these guys the clips and then parallel it with the drawings of what we're trying to accomplish. So they can see it from, in this situation, it's the same kind of thing. It's just the weak side defenseman comes across trying to end the play. So you should see it with the NHL players. Obviously, pretty good player in Victor Hedman. He's coming all the way across and how he ends plays. And it's just an effective way to get the puck back immediately without actually having to defend.
Jordan, just come to you. What very new. 2 weeks into your career as a defenseman, how are you finding the transition?
It's been good so far. Obviously, a little bit of a transition in the reads that I'm making in a game, but like Corey just said, I'm trying to keep it simple in doing concepts that I know from being a forward. Transitioning onto D. So, trying to skate forwards as much as possible, and like you said, surf over, and just kind of play to my strengths and limit my weaknesses. I know what they are at the moment, but working every day to correct them and get better as a player. So yeah.
Corey, I think we've got a second clip, haven't you?
I do, yeah. It's just the hardest thing for forwards to understand when they go and transition into defense is how to play a 2-on-1. And it's the same kind of concept I'm trying to explain here to Jordan about how you can try and stay on your forward edge at certain times. Right now we turn the puck over. That's not ideal, obviously, but he's in a pretty good spot right here. Obviously, they've got a super talented player in Joey Martin here with the puck, and we want him to stay on his inside edge as much as possible, his forward edge, and attack him, keep him on his backhand here in this situation. He does a pretty good job. He extends his stick, and he's just not quite comfortable yet of continuing to go through. I mean, if this guy here was closer and the spacing was better with a pure 2-on-1, then I'd probably encourage him to fold back and play it logically. But right now he's in a really good situation. He can attack this. He decides not to. Obviously he comes down and plays the 2-on-1. And in these situations for forwards, the worst thing, right now the goalie's obviously working on the shooter. If the puck gets across to this guy over here and they shoot in an empty net, that's obviously a lot easier than shooting it through a goaltender. And the distance that he's traveled, this is a pure shooting scoring zone for forwards. If he gets past that threshold and he's shooting from here, now the goalie becomes incredibly big and he's got to make a perfect shot. So he does a really good job. They don't score in this rush. And obviously from there, I would show him a couple clips, showing how, this kind of works. So the early take kind of situation, if the spacing is bad for their forward, then he can go. If they go to one hand, if they bobble the puck, anything like that. Or he's just on a pure forward edge and he's got a good angle on him, trying to not deny it. So you see here a situation where the puck gets away from that forward and they decide to attack. And although he doesn't get it, I'd like him to telescope his stick towards the puck he's still in a pretty good position because the puck is passed so deep that the goaltender can be big and strong. And as I said, that zone in green is a pure scoring zone. So he knows that if he does a good job of not allowing them to shoot from that zone, the goaltender becomes big. If he shoots from there, you're in trouble. But if you can kind of deny the pass across, take away the empty net, then the goaltender becomes big. So these are all the kind of things we're trying to tie into his game at this stage.
Great stuff, Corey. That's really fascinating. Jordan, just how crucial, on ice there's a lot of stuff that you can learn, obviously, but this off-ice stuff, just how important is that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Corey said, we've been doing it a lot of it lately, and I just think it's kind of speeding up my learning process. So when I'm out there, I'm making, instead of it taking a week, it feels like it's taking a couple of days, and I'm making adjustments already. So it's been super helpful so far. I feel like we're doing it nearly every day, but it's definitely working, and that's, we're going to continue to do that. So yeah, it's been great.
Corey, just looking, and I mean, I've known you a long time and know how you work, but just looking at you in action now, it feels like it's a part of the job that you really enjoy.
Yeah, I love this. I love, even coaching, I'm right now with my business, I'm coaching a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old, and you see their little, videos with them skating around, and you talk to them about where their sticks should be or where they should position. And, obviously I'm more geared towards the professional level of coaching this elite stuff, but the pure basic fundamentals, I really enjoy. I enjoy working at hockey schools. Obviously, Clark & Co. Hockey School. I've been working there for a long time, and it's, trying to blend that, skill-based knowledge with, this kind of stuff, which the kids don't get a lot of. It's important. Like, they're not just coaching's not just about the broad fundamental system stuff where we're playing a 1-2-2 or things like that. It's more so if you can get the players' personal fundamentals and habits down, then they become much better in your team system. So that's the kind of stuff I've been focused on for basically a lot of years after I didn't make it as a high level player. When I became a coach, I realized that I didn't really know a lot of things, and it frustrated me that nobody had ever spent the time teaching me this stuff. So I made it a priority from early on, and just over the last 5 odd years, we've been developing this kind of set where I could show the pictures, the diagrams, and the video, and it kind of really cements it in their brains.
Just a couple of questions to ask both of you just ahead of the game. Corey, Belfast, I'm sure you'll be going on to them. We won't show that research, but no, that'll be your next job. Where will their threats come from tomorrow?
Everywhere. It's a fantastic hockey team. We're going to have to be our very best.
And Jordan, and just from you, the Cup, Challenge Cup, they call it the Corey Cup because Corey's won it so many times, but how important is it to the club and the players that you've got a chance here in this competition of silverware?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, like another trophy that we're playing for right now, and with this league standings at the moment, it almost becomes even more important, right, to have the opportunity to do well in the Challenge Cup. Playing here before, I know obviously the aggregate system, it's new to a lot of guys, so every game is super important, especially tomorrow with playing at home first. I'm sure we're going to be looking to use that to our advantage for sure.
Brilliant. Thanks, guys. Thanks for letting Panthers TV be part of it. That was fascinating.